When people talk about the Great Reset in religious terms or folklore, they are usually referring to a much older idea found across many traditions. The belief that the world periodically undergoes a divine or cosmic reset when humanity becomes corrupt or loses its way. And I have a feeling we might be about to experience one in our lifetime, whether frightening or exciting. As a chosen one, you were not born in this timeline on accident. You are not merely an NPC or a witness. You are a warning bearer, a guardian of a sacred divine order. Tonight, we speak of the Great Reset, not the boardroom slogan of the powerful, but the ancient, sacred pattern that visits every time humanity's transgressions go too far, hastening the Creator's wrath and judgment. We'll walk through 3 times in history where the world was rebalanced by the Great Reset, one by water, one by the closing of an age, and one from the one we are about to witness of our own modern times. Does this mean doomsday for us all? Well, you will have to listen like one who has been chosen to understand. Long before modern thinkers began speaking about resets of global systems, humanity had already experienced what many religious traditions describe as the first great reset of civilization. The story of Noah's flood. His story is not simply about a man building a vessel to survive a disaster in. It is about the deeper pattern of history. When a society drifts too far from truth and justice, a warning always comes before the correction. God does not bring destruction upon a people without first sending a chosen one among them to remind them of the truth. This principle repeats throughout sacred history. Before judgment comes a warning. Before the destruction comes, a voice calling people back to the divine order comes first. Noah was that chosen voice for his people. He lived among them, witnessing the gradual moral decay of their society. Pride had replaced humility. Corruption had replaced justice. And people began to worship idols rather than acknowledge the Creator who had given them life. The names of these idols became widely known among the people, representing the spiritual drift that had taken place over generations. What began as small compromises eventually became an entire culture built upon falsehood. Yet the reset of that civilization did not begin with rain or destruction. It began with a message. When Noah began constructing the ark, the ridicule intensified. Building a massive vessel on dry land seemed absurd to those watching him. They laughed as they passed by, believing that he had finally proven himself to be crazy. But while they saw a meaningless labor, Noah was acting upon divine guidance. What appeared irrational to the crowd was in fact preparation for survival. The ark carried a small group of chosen ones, along with the animals that had been gathered. Compared to the population that once filled the land, the number was very small. This detail carries another powerful lesson. Truth has rarely been embraced by the majority. Throughout history, those who remain steadfast upon it often represent only a small portion of society. As the waters covered the earth, the civilization of Noah's people came to an end. Their cities, their idols, and their arrogance disappeared beneath the flood. What had once seemed permanent was erased in a matter of days. The reset had taken place. Just as in the story of Noah, this stage of decline is not without warning. Throughout history, individuals arise who sense that their society is drifting away from the principles that once sustained it. These chosen individuals speak out, reminding their communities of forgotten truths. They warn of consequences that will come if the corruption continues unchecked. These figures are rarely welcomed. Just like Noah before them, the warners of a declining age often appear inconvenient to those who benefit from the status quo. Their words disrupt comfort and challenge the narratives that people have grown attached to. For this reason, they are often dismissed, mocked, or accused of exaggeration. Yet their role is essential. The chosen ones in such periods are not necessarily kings or rulers. They are teachers, reformers, thinkers, students, and ordinary individuals who refuse to abandon truth even when society moves in the opposite direction, and we might be there right now. In times like these, the role of the chosen ones becomes particularly important. Just as Noah served as a warner before the flood, individuals in every generation arise who feel compelled to remind others of the principles that sustain civilization. Their responsibility is not to control global events or predict the exact future, but to stand firmly for truth, justice, and moral clarity. Even when confusion dominates the public conversation, the chosen ones are those who encourage wisdom in a world often driven by impulse. This task is rarely easy. Speaking truth during turbulent times can bring criticism, misunderstanding, or worse. Yet the uncertainty of the modern era therefore places a quiet responsibility on those who recognize these patterns. Chosen one. Now as we enter this unpredictable year portal, remember that the responsibility of speaking truth has never belonged only to prophets or historical figures. The world may move through cycles of turmoil, unjust war, and transformation, but those who remain sincere in their commitment to justice and truth are never abandoned by the one who sees all efforts. We are the modern-day Noahs in a symbolic sense, voices reminding others to reflect before storms arrive. Should our great flood ever come, at least we will know that we stood strong and spoke honestly, even when others mocked or dismissed us. God never abandons those who sincerely strive for what is right, and every person who listens to a message of truth becomes another light guiding humanity forward. Remember, it has never been about the number of people one manages to influence. What truly matters is the willingness to stand for righteousness and to continue speaking, even when the message is difficult to hear. So keep speaking, keep warning, keep reminding. Like, share, comment, and join the movement. And last but not least, arm yourself and those around you with wisdom, discernment, and awareness in the face of the Great Reset. Peace and blessings.